Hey everyone. So over the last few months, the ACS has been working with some of our many talented black alumni who are now working in various professional fields, as well as some of our placement students. Whether it be entrepreneurs, lawyers, engineers, even teachers, our alumni are here to give us an insight into these professional industries, as well as inspire us students into making the most out of our time here in Surrey.
Hello there, University of Surrey. My name is Samuel Elelaboye. I'm the founder of Infinite Quest.
Hey guys, so my name is Josh.
My name is Toby Dada.
Hey everyone, hope everyone is blessed, hope everyone is good. My name is Musti.
Hi, my name's Elaine.
My name is Kanayo.
My name is Kahima.
My name is Jordan Joel.
Hi, my name is Ifweko Ifegbinige.
Good afternoon, my name is Alisa here.
Hi, my name is Jessica Mensah.
My name is John Alao.
Hello, Surrey ACS. My name is Gweth and I live in London.
And I currently live in Nigeria.
I'm currently calling this from Portsmouth. I'm from the UK.
And I live here in the UK.
I'm based in Northwest London.
Okay, I live in South London.
I currently live in Kent.
I'm from Lewisham, South East London.
I live in London.
I study business economics at the University of Surrey.
I studied psychology at the University of Surrey.
Whilst I was at the University of Surrey, I studied law for 2 years.
I went to the University of Surrey to study chemical engineering.
At Surrey, I studied BA Theatre and Performance. My course was a 4-year degree and it was based at the University of Surrey and Guildford School of Acting, the drama school across the road, so I went to both.
I studied biotechnology, so I did a BSc Honours in biotechnology, including a placement year, so it was a 4-year degree.
I study computer science at the University of Surrey.
When I was in Surrey University, I studied the course Politics and Sociology.
When I was at Surrey, I studied accounting and finance.
At Surrey, I completed a bachelor's degree in biomedical sciences.
I studied biochemistry, pharmacology. It was a sandwich degree, 4-year course at University of Surrey.
I studied law with international politics, and this included a 1-year industrial placement. I undertook this placement year working for a regional law firm within their commercial property department.
I recently graduated from the University of Surrey with an honours in civil and environmental engineering.
I'm currently a chartered accountant with the Institute of Chartered Accountants England and Wales. Okay, I've finished my qualification and now a chartered accountant, which is fantastic. Okay, so I currently work in audit. That's my day job. On the side, I mentor. I also am a forex trader as well, which is something I'm learning how to do just to diversify my income streams, and I mentor in that as well.
So, I do a multitude of things. I am part of an organisation called Woke Weekly. We facilitate debates about social political issues that affect the black community. Of course, we started at the University of Surrey. I also run an Instagram page called Toby Talks, trying to keep people up to date with what's going on politically. Please follow me if you haven't already. And I probably do a bunch of other stuff I haven't mentioned. I have a blog. I write quite frequently. I'm involved in a lot of different things, but yeah, that's just a bit about me.
Well, I'm a senior clinical research associate, and that involves me managing clinical trials on behalf of pharmaceutical companies. I ensure that these trials are being conducted according to local regulations and also global standards.
So in terms of what I do now, I'm working as an analyst, mainly in business intelligence and data. So I conduct data analysis via the methodologies of data cleansing, data mining, data warehousing, etc.
I graduated in 2015, which is only 5 years ago. And so much can happen in 5 years. So I am presently head of psychology at a school in Bromley, previously deputy head of sixth form at a different school. And I'm also completing my doctorate at UCL. My doctorate is in education. between when I graduated in 2015 and now I had completed my teacher training, so my PGCE, and also my Masters in Educational Assessment. So my 5 years has been very, very packed, and it seems like I've been studying forever, but I totally enjoy it.
I work within sales operations within the software and fintech industries. Sales operations entails you working with the sales teams to enable and support them to perform their jobs. So that's from maintaining their systems, their processes, their reports, the strategies, and just helping them to meet their goals and targets, as well as training them.
So at the moment I work as a trainee solicitor at Clyde & Co, who are a global law firm representing a diverse range of clients in a broad spectrum of practice areas. These practice areas include things such as infrastructure, aviation, arbitration, transport, healthcare, real estate as well. So that's just a glimpse of the sort of practice areas we deal with. I am expected as a trainee to rotate between 4 different departments for 6 months. So at the moment my first seat is currently within the public liability team, and this team falls under our global insurance and financial and professional disputes team. So as you can tell, this is a predominantly litigation/disputes team, and the public liability team also includes a cyber liability team. So we primarily deal with things such as event cancellation, business interruption. Both have been a big thing during the pandemic because of the cancelled music events, sports events, so insurers are definitely looking for advice on that. We also deal with things such as travel insurance, wedding insurance is also another one, as well as cyber liability insurance, which has been a big thing in light of the increase in the gig economy, as well as internet/software companies pivoting towards the cyber environment. So as part of my role as a trainee within this seat, I'm sort of expected to give coverage advice to our clients, and a vast majority of our clients are global insurers. So we're expected to give them policy coverage advice if there's a claim, for instance, that they've asked us to advise on. So we'll be advising on whether they are covered by the insurance policy, what protections apply. We'll be advising whether we need to pay out money to the policyholder. If not, we'll be advising them whether we should settle. If not, we'll be advising them whether we should take this to trial, or if there's a dispute. And if you decide to go down the route of taking to trial, which is what our team is accustomed to do in disputes, I as a trainee will be involved in sort of drafting any court documents such as claim forms. We'll be involved in liaising with any witnesses if there is any, so gathering any witness statements, liaising with any experts if you need an expert report from someone dealing, or a specialist for instance, in any products. You'd be corresponding with them to sort of get their reports on the issue. You'd be doing other ad hoc tasks such as researching case law, researching legislation to see whether it aligns with the policy. If so, you'd be advising the client about these changes, as well as senior lawyers. You'd be advising them about any changes that my research has uncovered, for instance. There'll be also other things such as getting involved in business development as well as part of the firm. So this is predominantly, there's a lot of analysis of documents, a lot of sort of giving coverage advice because it is an insurance department. But as part of being a trainee, I'm also expected to do a seat in a transactional seat. So I did mention I'm expected to do 4 different departments, and one of those departments will have to be a transactional seat. So a transactional seat might be things such as aviation finance, real estate, banking, corporate finance, infrastructure, for instance. These are all transactional seats, and the difference here is it's less court focused because, for example, in real estate, your client might be a developer who's interested in buying a piece of land or a development, and as a transactional lawyer, you'll be in charge of drafting, the contract between the developer and the seller, for instance. If there's a lease, you'll be, the lawyer drafting that lease, including any protections, any provisions such as rent, such as, clauses dealing with what happens in the event of a dispute. So the transactional side is very much, dealing with deals, which are, sort of on a conveyor belt and making sure that the deal goes from start to finish and is completed in terms of sort of offering protection to the client. So, at the moment, my seat is very much a court-focused seat, but as a trainee and as a lawyer, you might be exposed to the transactional side of things. So that is my current role at the moment.
What do I do now? I now work with students and young entrepreneurs to take their business online and generate more sales, have more impact and influence, and work towards becoming financially free so they can live life on their own terms.
So since university, I currently have been working as a freelance theatre director and creative producer, and I also carry out interviews for different companies as well.
All right, tell us a bit about what you do. So I've got to give a bit of background. I did study biotechnology, I did enjoy my degree, and I do want to go into research, but currently I am not doing research. Currently I am a fitness coach and I am an entrepreneur. So I started a fitness brand after uni called the Phoenix Bootcamp. This happened because when I finished uni, I wasn't able to get my degree due to some complications, mostly financial regarding my tuition. I did my whole degree, but I needed to basically complete my tuition fee payment to get my final year results. So in the meantime, while I was waiting, I was training. So I do Taekwondo, I'm a first degree black belt. I competed in uni. When I came back, I still wanted to compete as well. So while I was training, someone saw me training, I run a lot, and they were like, oh, train me. So trained them. Then I was like, okay, since I'm not doing anything, let me just train people and try to change the fitness culture where I live. So I got a certification, did an online course, and so that's how the Phoenix Bootcamp began. So currently, I have gotten my degree results and I am going to do my master's, but currently I am an entrepreneur, growing a fitness brand, which is going quite well, to be fair. Currently training kids in Taekwondo as well, which is really cool. It's not something I anticipated happening. And it's growing really well. So that's what I do currently. I am a fitness coach, entrepreneur, but I am going to use my degree and I hope to go into research.
I currently work in the pharmaceutical industry as a manager within global study operations, clinical research and development, and I've been doing that for close to 15 years.
I'm currently back in Nigeria, trying to set up my company. I'm happy that I applied from the university as I'm making some knowledge and I'm in the process of setting up the firm.
In terms of my degree impacting my career choice, I had made the choice I wanted to be an accountant from a young age. I know a lot of people think, oh, your parents push you into that kind of thing. Not at all. I told my mum I wanted to be simply because I wanted to get into a career that was going to pay me well and be and have good stability to it. Okay, as I'm learning to diversify my income, however, through things like forex and also mentoring and other stuff I'm getting involved in, I'm realizing that your career can really take any path that you want it to take. Okay. But it was very, very important for me to become an accountant, become a chartered accountant, because there's definitely something that I wanted to do since I was 17.
My degree choice at Surrey, studying biochemistry pharmacology, heavily impacted my career because I always wanted to explore the hidden jobs within the pharmaceutical industry, and I did not want to work in the lab. But I'm still passionate and was passionate about science. And especially because I wanted to see how drugs, especially drug development, was done right from start all the way till it was approved. So for me, I was definitely inspired to do my 4-year degree biochemistry pharmacology at Surrey University with a 1-year internship, and I felt that it was the perfect choice for me. And then again, I did not want to do medicine as well, but for me, doing my degree heavily impacted me going into and staying in the pharmaceutical industry, which is where I'm currently working.
One of the great things I loved about my degree is that I gained a lot of transferable skills, which I now use in business. Skills such as marketing and sales.
My degree choice did impact my career because although politics and tech don't seem to quite gel, to believe it or not, they do relate to each other because, for example, with politics, the leadership skills you learn, the networking, negotiating skills you learn from there, those do come very handy now if you then choose to work in sales operations, for example. So long story cut short, the degree you do, even though it may not seem related to the career or jobs you're applying for, majority of the skills are transferable. So I would definitely encourage you to apply for any jobs you want, as long as the skills are transferable and you're willing to learn the new skills involved for it.
I would say that my degree hasn't really impacted my career per se, but I definitely learned a lot of valuable things from studying law, which I think were very important for the degree that I ended up doing, and even some aspects of the work that I do right now. I think law is fundamental and foundational to everything that, you know, I guess happens or transpires in society, and it cuts across pretty much every industry and sector.
Well, certainly being a psychology teacher requires having, high level of qualification in the subject that you're wanting to teach. So of course for psychology, it was only right that I had a degree in psychology. But beyond that, I learned other skills as a student in Surrey, such as working with others, writing reports, being efficient with my time, which has certainly fed into my career progress.
So I think my degree choice had an integral part on my career choice. So I think it's definitely in two ways. So in the first way, sort of studying law helped me understand the basic concepts such as contract law, such as negligence, tort, and these are very important, I think, in working for a global commercial firm, and specifically in my department. A lot of disputes can arise because people are trying to argue that the contract can come into existence. And I think learning those basic concepts that I did in first year in terms of what is a contract, how is it formulated, that has been very important in terms of when you're sat at the desk and you're given a case to deal with, and you sort of have to research and understand whether there was a contract that came into existence. So I think, the simple concepts have lent themselves towards understanding what I'm dealing with in my role. I think the second way my degree had an impact is the politics side. So, studying international relations sort of lent itself to understanding what goes on in our world, so to speak. So you had to understand the global political economy and current affairs, so you can give a reasoned, logical argument towards any arguments that you're putting in your academic essays. And I think studying that has been so crucial in terms of, having a career as a lawyer requires you to understand your client's business, understand the sector that they operate in, and be able to give advice in the context of their business, in the context of the global economy. So I think studying the politics module has ensured that I've kept up to date with current affairs, but also kept to date with commercial affairs, having a commercial understanding of what goes on in our economy, what goes on in our political spectrum. So I think both those 2 points have been so important towards my career, and they will be important as my career goes on as a lawyer.
I'd say for me personally, it's impacted my career hugely. Because my degree was 4 years, it included a placement year, as I stated before, and I always encourage anybody taking a creative degree or even my degree, please do a placement year because it will benefit you hugely. I think even if you don't do a creative degree, I'd say do a placement year anyway, because for me, I'd say my placement year, I was able to come back home to London and work at a theatre called Kiln Theatre in North West London. And luckily I was really lucky that it was close to home, so that was fine. But also it just provided so many connections and networks and allowed me to understand how the industry works. Because one thing my placement mentor told me is that in my industry, it is all about who you know, but also work hard, because I'd say your talents and skills also speaks like wonders for your own works and merits. But I think having that year out of uni to be able to understand the industry more what happens and how it works, what's involved within it. It just really benefited me greatly, and I managed to also do other courses alongside my placement year, because my theatre was just like, okay, what are you interested in? And at the time it became directing and producing, so they pointed me towards the right places and programs, and that just helped me to build up my portfolio. That when I left university, I started I didn't know what I was going to do. I was just like, I knew I wanted to do directing. And it was like 2 weeks till I was finishing university that I got my first job. So I literally started my first job after university 2 days afterwards. And that all came out from like the people I'd made connections with and who I'd asked about for advice. So yeah, do a placement year is what I would say.
I'd say my degree choice has been instrumental in my career. I wouldn't have been able to get into the industry without a degree in biosciences. And I wouldn't have learned so much about, you know, the human body and how it works if it wasn't for the degree. So from a technical aspect, it's been instrumental. And also the soft skills you learn, like research, reporting, working with people, all those things have been really, really, really helpful in the development of my career.
So how much has your degree impacted your career choice? Yeah, that's quite interesting, because I'm currently not doing something pertaining to my degree, but the basic is still the same. So when I wanted to study biotechnology, it was because I cared about people's health. Being a fitness coach means I directly get to impact on people's health, not in the same way as I would in the lab, but still in a transformative way. So I'd say in that sense, I'm still in that health industry. So I'd say in that way my degree did impact on my career choice, but it was mostly also my love for sports. So while at uni, I trained with the Surrey Taekwondo team. I became a black belt while at Surrey, fell in love with Taekwondo while at Surrey. I did football before that. So all those, plus my degree, plus my interest in just health generally, impacted my choice to do this. But also, I'd say the changing circumstances from graduating, not having a job immediately after I left, not being able to fully cover my tuition. So guys, I'm an international student, so tuition is very different. So all those things, having to adapt to that situation, mostly impacted this certain career choice and this building of a fitness brand. But I'm still going to do a master's. I still plan to do a PhD. None of that has changed. If anything, being out of uni for a while has shown me how much I do miss working in the lab and all. So now it's more of I found a business I wasn't expecting to. Now it's more like in the future I want to be able to fuse that with or manage that with going into a career as a researcher in the biotechnology field.
I completed my placement year at SAP, which is a software company specializing in business software and serving over 430,000 customers globally. I sit in a business operations role within the consulting branch of one of our software solutions, and I essentially help the team with key performance indicators, month-end reporting, as well as website design and business analysis. My experience working in SAP was very varied. I took advantage of working in data analysis roles, content creation, and even reaching out to other teams to provide subject matter expertise in some of the softwares that I gained certification in and helping out wherever I could. A key skill that I learned from my placement was how to build and utilize my network. So some of the best opportunities that I gained during my placement came through seemingly insignificant conversations. So I really put myself out there to network both inside and outside the office, whether I'm talking to a random person at lunchtime saying, you know what, let's have a conversation about this over coffee. That really helped open up doors to develop different opportunities during my time at SAP. Another key skill that I learned was some of the softwares that I gained certification in, such as Smartsheet and Tableau. This really helped me again when I was working with other teams to actually provide some benefit whilst also gaining an insight into what it is that they do.
I've just finished a 12-month placement working at JP Morgan as a software engineer. During my time, I learned a lot of practical skills that I can bring back to use for my final year project. And yeah, I had a lot of fun as well. There were a lot of conferences, a lot of events. I actually got to meet Tony Blair. So yeah, there was a lot of fantastic opportunities I was exposed to during my placement, yeah.
What I would say is my university experience was quite unique in the fact that I got involved as president of ACS. I became a vice president and then further on a president of the Students' Union, which kind of gave me a lot of experience that's been transferable to industry, okay? In terms of like interpersonal skills, learning to get along with people, learning how to problem solve, etc., etc. But what I'd say probably the biggest thing is obviously my technical analysis skills as an accountant. That was something I definitely picked up in industry, but there are a lot of experiences in university that you can pick up that are truly transferable and truly desirable to a lot of employers and also a lot of industries that you will go into, okay? Many people that are accountants alongside me did not study accounting at uni. They studied things like geography or history, and because of the transferable skills they've learned there, they are actually phenomenal and very, very competent accountants.
Oof. Well, being a teacher, no one teaches you how to handle these kids these days. I joke, but honestly, there are certain skills that you can only learn when you are in the context. And by that, I mean there were certain skills that I could only learn as a teacher in the classroom. I couldn't get it from a textbook, nor could I get it from a lecture. So I can't shade Surrey for that, but certainly I would say to students watching this that there will be skills that you won't get from your university degree. You'll get it afterwards, or you'll get it in any life experience that you engage in. And that's quite okay, because life is just one massive learning experience.
I think one basic skill that I didn't gain from my degrees, or one industry skill that is integral, is drafting. So, you know, as a lawyer, expect to draft a wide range of documents, such as leases, for instance, if you're in a real estate seat. And that is not something you learn on your undergraduate degree. You know, writing an academic essay is completely different to drafting a document full of legalese, because you have to include so many different legal terms, and the manner of speech will be completely different to writing an academic essay. And I think drafting is definitely something that you learn on the job, and it's something that only improves as your career progresses. That is how you improve your drafting. So I think that is one key industry skill that I would not have gained from my undergraduate degree at all.
I would say one industry-based skill I didn't gain from my university experience would be, crazy enough, I would say directing, only because then my course was theatre performance based and we had to do plays. I think personally for me, I just didn't get that chance to explore that directing was a practical thing I wanted to do. So yeah, and I only got to explore that more on my placement year.
In terms of like industry-based skills that I didn't gain from my university experience, I would say that's a hard one. One industry-based skill. I would probably say data analysis. I didn't gain that from my university experience because my degree eventually was in music business and management, and you don't do much data analysis in that, or even in law for that matter.
One industry-based skill I didn't quite so much focus on back at university was my presentation skills. So at uni, I only did a couple presentations, made a couple, didn't really focus too much on it. But as the years have gone by, in my roles in sales ops, it's become very apparent that you need to have very good presentation skills because then you will start to host meetings. And you're then expected to create fantastic presentations on PowerPoint to the standard that, let's say, if you search in Google, your presentation may pop up. So that's the standard they're looking for.
The skill I didn't gain from university experience, the ability to sell, and that's selling items, selling yourself. You find as you develop in your career and you're applying for jobs, you need to sell yourself. That's something that you don't necessarily pick up during your time at Surrey or during your degree. also customer services and client relations, knowing how to talk to people, the ability to maintain, the client and provide a relationship. Those things you don't really learn in your degree.
I would say that the one skill that I definitely had to pick up quickly, obviously the pharmaceutical industry is such a global brand, and I know that having a language to your advantage definitely opens a lot of doors for you, especially with companies and having to move offices as well around Europe and around the world. So I know that definitely having a language on the side, and also, studying the language, and having it on your CV as well, you're able to, you're speaking to people from all over the world as well. And sometimes connecting to them in their native language definitely does help. And, because it is a global company, it definitely helps to know that you have that edge, that additional advantage over somebody who just, speaks English. So yes, definitely having the language, and also including project management skills as well. The side of obviously clinical research and development that I'm in, having project management skills definitely helps. So language and project management skills.
So as I mentioned, I'm currently a fitness coach, which is very different from my biotechnology background. It's not that different because it's still in health. I'm still helping people with their health, which is one of the basic reasons I go into biotechnology. But while at Surrey, I was also a student ambassador. I worked in retail. I did a lot of things. I competed in taekwondo. So I'd say, although I didn't learn a lot specifically from my degree relating to what I'm doing currently now, but I learned a lot of human relations, especially with being a student ambassador, how to talk to people, how to explain things, how to break things down, how to carry people along, how to maneuver through difficult circumstances. So if you're a student ambassador, sir, you know that anything can happen, so you need to be able to adjust to the situations. I also did certain things like run for president. So all those things built my communication skills. It built my confidence. It built my intuition and creativity. So apart from my degree, I got involved a lot while in university. I helped even create a society. It's called the society is Powerhouse. So it was Powerhouse Society with my friends in my first year of university. So, all these things gave me the confidence to be able to start a fitness brand without really a second thought, because while in uni, I was growing holistically, not just in my education, but in other areas as well, as I just mentioned. So I would say currently for what I am doing, everything else helped in giving me the confidence and the business savvy to be able to create this, especially in creating connections with others. If you do follow my IG, so the Phoenix Kid, so the Phoenix_kid, you'd see that I've collaborated with a lot of other fitness instructors. So all these things, creating connections, going on placement. I did a placement in Australia. So all these things, going out of my comfort zone, relating with different people. Going to uni in the UK was only my second time in the UK. So spending 4 years there without my family, building a level of independence. All these things helped me build this without really knowing I was growing in these skills while I was at university. So I'd say all the skills I've listed, apart from my education, which would help in my future career aspirations as a researcher, but currently for what I'm doing, everything else I did while at university helped me adapt to changing circumstances, especially now with Corona. If I was working in a lab, well, I could actually work in a lab because of coronavirus, but if I was doing anything else, being a fitness coach was able, because I'm a fitness coach, I was able to sustain a business, even though because of coronavirus, a lot of people lost their jobs. Being an entrepreneur means I can't lose my job because it's my job. And being the asset of my business, so me being a fitness coach, me being able to train, meant I was able to still have a job even during the coronavirus period. So yeah. I also do want to say though, I did learn a lot from Surrey, inside and outside my degree, that I did not know I learned. So while at Surrey, apart from sports, I was also a student ambassador in my final year. I helped create a society. I helped run a society called Powerhouse. I'm a Christian, so while at church, I helped run a connect group. So all those relating with people, talking to people, keeping of data at the lab. And I went to Australia for a 9-month placement in my 3rd year, all the way on the other side of the world by myself. How to handle that while I was so like all these things I learned while at Surrey, because I really like put myself out there. So when I went to university, I didn't just go to university to do a degree get first. I did graduate with a high 2.1, so I did do well. It's not like I didn't. I did all these things and I didn't do well in my degree, but I didn't just go there for the degree. I went there to experience university and grow holistically, because I don't know if I was very conscious about this, but the thing is, like, life after university is very different. So all these other things I got involved with helped me adapt to different changing circumstances in life.
I would encourage everyone to pursue a placement year, especially if you didn't do a gap year before joining the University of Surrey, and before joining university, because doing a placement year essentially gives you that break from university. It gives you the opportunity to explore new skills and to start to question things that you want to do outside of university. It puts you in a position where you have to actually start making adult decisions about your life, and it also ensures that you are prepared, you're given the skills required to complete your dissertation or your final year project.
My advice to someone pursuing a placement would be quality over quantity. Whilst it is a numbers game, you want to make sure that you do your research and your due diligence on the company, and make sure that you put your best foot forward when applying. Because when recruiters are looking at your application, they want to see that you're passionate about the company and you know what you're talking about. Secondly, I'd say surround yourself with a group of like-minded people who are going to help hold you accountable, and you can also help them be accountable for getting those applications through. Because when it comes to midterms and coursework, everyone gets really busy and it's easy to lose sight of the end goal.
One thing I wish I'd done more at university is probably more sports. I'm obsessed with sports. I can spend hours watching it and playing sports. So I really wish that I got involved in playing more sports at university. Not just because I love the competitive edge of it, but it's also, you know, there's so many things you can take away from playing sports that you can apply to even studying in your career. You know, the discipline, the hard work. It's there's so many life lessons that you can gain from sports that I wish I'd gotten involved more, because I think it would have had an impact on my mental state in a beneficial way if I got involved in that more. So I definitely wish I got involved in more sports at university.
I think, speaking for me personally, it would have been enjoying the process a bit more. And I'd say the process of learning, which sounds a bit crazy, but I think for me, because the way I am, and I was just like, okay, I've got an assignment, I need to finish it, it needs to be done by here and there. I was so stressed about finishing it, but I wasn't taking in what I was being taught, or even just enjoying experiences of either like making the performances or writing the essays. And so yeah, I think I think I think I wish I just enjoyed the process, and whether it was learning or just taking in university as a whole, which I think I did do well, to be honest. But I think for me, it's just learning to not be so stressed about the end product or even worrying about the grades so much, because grades are important, but I think not making that the be all and end all of your university experience, and just definitely doing the best you can and soaring as much as you can. But I would my key thing from university would be enjoying the process. And I think that's something I've taken away, and just in life now, just trying to enjoy where I am right now and making the most of it, because it is university, you're paying fam, you might as well make the most of it, rinse it, take what you can.
I think I would have loved to have been part of some sort of contemporary dance society. Like, contemporary dance is something that I loved from GCSE, and it's a shame that I didn't quite encourage that love for contemporary dance. So certainly I would have loved to have been part of a society that caters for dancers.
One experience I wish I had in university is and I noticed this is a growing sector in industry, and a lot of people ask about it, and I speak with them.
I wish I took part in more sport, and also I wish that I had formed greater bonds with people outside of my immediate friendship zones, and made more meaningful connections with people that were on my actual course.
What's one thing you wish you'd have done more while in university, and why? To be honest, I wish I paid more attention during Taekwondo session. So it's funny because my instructor kept saying things like, you never know if you're going to teach people Taekwondo and all these things, but I was so interested in sparring. So in Taekwondo, you have basically it's two parts of Taekwondo. You have patterns, which is called pumse, and you have kyurgi, which is sparring. I was more invested in sparring because another thing you need to know about me, I had this whole dream. I want to go to the Olympics. So I was very invested in sparring. So I didn't pay so much attention to pumse. I wish I did, because if I knew I would now be in a situation where I would have to train kids, I know I would have definitely been more prepared, would have definitely asked more questions. So I'd say that just because of what I'm doing now, I wish I paid more attention in Taekwondo classes regarding patterns. So yeah, yeah. You never know what's going to happen, guys. You never know what you're going to have to use later on, or what skill you're going to learn. It's really random how things happen, to be honest. But yeah, so that I would say that paid more attention during Taekwondo sessions, specifically to pumse and patterns. But it's fine. I've learned some of these things. I've learned these things now by myself, so it's okay.
Again, my university experience was very, very unique. I kind of came to uni and had made the choice that I wasn't going to sit there and just get a first class without actually having any life experience. I had said to myself that I was happy to get a 2-1 as long as I had a lot of life experience and made lifelong friends, and that's precisely what I did. I sought out the ACS and went straight for ACS president. I played basketball whilst at uni. I went on and became a vice president of the Students' Union. I then further went on and became a president of the Students' Union. I can say wholeheartedly that I lived my university experience to the complete fullest, okay? And I have no regrets whatsoever, okay? One of the things I actually do wish I did was go up to the top of the mount. I never ever got to climb to the top of the mount whilst I was at Surrey, so I wish I could do that.
I think I actually explored Surrey very much so. I partied hard, worked hard. Maybe I should have worked a bit more than I partied more. But yeah, I don't think there's really anything. I really enjoyed my time at Surrey. It was very new then, and what's really the one thing? I don't know. I didn't get into any trouble, so that's really good. So I definitely worked hard, partied hard, did a lot of student union events. I probably could get into more student union events. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed my time at Surrey, actually.
I think if there was one thing I wish I did in university or experienced was either a year abroad or an internship or a placement year. I think that, that's something that I didn't do just due to the way that my university experience unfolded. But it would have been something that I would have loved to have done. And I think it would have been something that would have greatly benefited me.
I wished that I exposed myself to more people, more societies, and because there's always so much to gain at the University of Surrey, they're offering always so many great freebies and activities, events on campus and off campus. So I wished I was just way more plugged in.
One thing I wish I'd done more back in uni was to have fun. It may seem a bit odd saying this, but when I was at Surrey, I was very much involved with societies, the student union, course rep, internships, jobs, etc. I was so much about the grind, staying back in my dorm, that I didn't really go out as much, and let's say as my peers. So now I look back on it, I wish I'd done a bit more of that, because as soon as you graduate from university and you move into the world of full-time work, it's going to be pretty much work. So I would encourage you at uni, when you do have the platform to work hard but also play hard, you do so, because many of the memories you make and the people you meet do end up becoming lifelong friends. I'm still in touch with many people I interacted with back at uni, so I definitely would encourage you to have as much fun as possible.
My favourite memory at the University of Surrey has to be hands down freshman week. It's one of the best weeks ever. You party hard, you meet amazing people, you connect, you feel like you're brothers and sisters, and it's just memories you would never forget because of how it made you feel. It just made you feel part of the family, especially at the University of Surrey.
Always had love for ACS. So my favourite Surrey memories are all around ACS, all around my Students' Union experience. Honestly, would not have traded that for anything. I'd recommend anybody to try it, anybody to go for any leadership positions in any societies or within the Students' Union is definitely something that you will not regret. We had fun, we had a blast, and it was amazing.
There's so many, but my favourite is hosting cook-ups. So at the end of the year, I'd usually host a cook-up at my house, invite Surrey friends and friends from London to come to my Surrey house, and we'd all just cook and have a little barbecue at mine to celebrate the end of the year.
Yeah, so I think being ACS president and actually winning the election was definitely one of my favourite moments. I kind of had a feeling that I, had a good shot at getting the presidency, but obviously I was nervous as every first year is when coming into that position. So yeah, that was definitely a favourite moment for me.
Well, I've got a number of memories. One such memory is actually being an honorary ACS member, someone who's not even on the committee but is able to contribute to ideas and plans. Also winning Bookworm of the Year and Personality of the Year. I thought that really captured my overall person, in that I'm very academic, I'm research driven, I love reading. However, I'm also very social and I guess approachable to others. And I guess lastly is meeting incredible people that I am still friends with up until this day, and having fond memories of my car breaking down on the A3 and it only being able to reverse, and us contemplating, okay, let's reverse down the A3. But yeah, those are some of the small memories that I have from Surrey.
Favorite Surrey memories? Oh gosh. From student union nights to joining the stage crew to get into free events to starting the Christian society called Chosen with my group of friends, to everything ACS. The entire Surrey experience was just great. I'm actually glad I didn't go to any other university. I'm glad I went to Surrey, and it was just perfect. It was perfect. Yeah, Chosen, Leroy Wilson's events in student union, joining stage crew, and yeah, ACS, obviously. Yeah, definitely. Everything.
I have several. Being a student ambassador was one. Going to Australia was one. Meeting a lot of people from all around the world, having fun. Just there was a lot. There was a lot going out. But I'd say for the purpose of this video, one that really stood out for me was running for president of the union in my final year. That was really cool, and it was a really rewarding experience. Although I did not win, I did win the popular vote, which was a big shock to a lot of people. So I came second, and I ran against two VPs. I was the only person from a minority group running. So it was truly an amazing experience, and I really ran because I wanted to see a lot of representation within the union. Up until then, I felt like the union wasn't really showing the multiculturalness we see at Surrey. So yeah, it was a really good experience. I learned a lot. And if even more were the amount of people that ran after me because I ran as an underdog, and how I was able to come so close to winning. Shout out to AJ, who became VP voice afterwards. I ran, we were like campaigning together and everything, and she got really motivated by the whole thing. So she even ran for president. It was really sad to see that she didn't win, but really proud of her. Diana. So like, you know, there are all these people, a lot of people that ran after me, and people that plan to now be from minority groups, plan to now be part of the union because of that whole period. So although I did not win, it was a really rewarding experience, and I'm really glad I did run. I also learned a lot, met a lot of people, learned more about politics, which is another aspect of uni I learned because of that. So yeah, it was really good. It was a really, really good experience. I'm really happy for that.
I think my favourite Surrey memory was probably starting the Model UN Society. So I started the society with a flatmate of mine, and you know, we managed to be a success, to run plenty of weekly sessions that loads of people attended. We managed to run fundraising events. We managed to get people attending more UN conferences around the country. And, you know, as far as I know, the society is still existing. So, you know, it was great to leave something like that at Surrey, because there was a lot of people who had an interest in the UN, a lot of people who had an interest in current affairs, a lot of people who love to debate and talk about current affairs, and to be able to do that within a, you know, a fun, exciting environment such as Model UN, I think is why it's one of my favourite memories, because we got to leave something behind, and I got to get involved into something that made me a bit more confident about myself, and you know, confident to talk about different topics and be more sure of myself. So that is definitely one of my favourite Surrey memories. And I think another one is just making friends. I think the fact that I made friends for life, you know, people with, you know, like-minded thoughts, like-minded ambitions, interests and values, I think is something that I will forever cherish. You know, I made friends for a lifetime who we're still in touch to this day, and I can, you know, I've drawn on them as inspiration. You know, they've motivated me, they've got me out of my comfort zone, and I think one of my favourite memories at university is definitely the friends that I made, without a doubt.
My favourite memory at the University of Surrey, that's a hard one because I've actually made so many memories, and I've got so many different memories with so many different friends. So I'll try to pick one that's more broad. I think during my first year, I ran for a position in the Student Union. As you know, it's called Surrey Decides. I ran to be in the voice zone, and that experience was life-changing. Being able to run my own campaign, you know, talking to different students about issues they're experiencing. I really, really enjoyed myself, and also the question time debate. Yeah, that was probably my funnest memory, being on question time and, you know, answering questions. Yeah, that's my funnest memory.
My favourite Surrey memories would probably be Woke Thursdays. We had an autumn committee. Shout out to Samira, Toby Boy, Toby Girl, and Martha. We had some really wholesome discussions and some very heated debates also. That alongside the party that we hosted at 56 Western Road for the end of the year.
My favourite Surrey memory would definitely have to be ACS. ACS for me was the highlight, not only because I was involved in being in the committee, but as a member throughout my first, second and third year. It felt as though I was within a community, and as much as Surrey is very community focused, it's great on that. To me, Surrey felt like a family, and I'm still in touch with many of the people today.
My favourite Surrey memory would have been my 19th birthday in first year. Because you know, you start uni like September, October time. My birthday's in October, so I made like 3 friends by the time it was my birthday. And we decided to go to Nando's, and along the way we were just collecting people along the roadside, like, oh, where are you going? You got anything to do? No, come join us, let's go Nando's. So yeah, I believe that's one of my most fondest Surrey memories.
One of my favorite memories in Surrey were movies nights out during my first and second year.
I would tell them to make the most of it, whether it's 4 years or 5 years or even 3 years. this time will fly by like that. So definitely plug in, attend as many events, as many societies as you can, and definitely build your network. One of the greatest things that for me has been the biggest benefit of Surrey is just the networks that you can build and what that translates after you leave university. So definitely make the most of your time at uni. That's it from me. Take care, and if you're ever around in Guildford, give me a shout, guys. Peace.
If you could give a piece of advice to current students, what would it be? Guys, get involved. Get involved in things. Don't be scared of doing things just because you don't know the outcome. I just talked about running for president. Guys, I ran against 2 VPs. Not a lot of people knew me in the union. I'd never been involved in the union. I had to learn about the union, and just that whole roller coaster taught me a lot, built a lot of my confidence. I said in this video, I'm currently an entrepreneur growing a fitness brand, teaching people Taekwondo. I would have never learned this if I didn't get involved in a new sport. I'd never really taken Taekwondo seriously till I got into uni. So guys, being a student ambassador, so get involved, especially in the union. I realize there's a lot we don't know about university, especially from certain groups, because we're not involved in the union. The union is a very important group in the university. So guys, get involved, especially in the union. Get involved in sports, start a society, start a club. Also, obviously, live a balanced life, enjoy university, go out with your friends, make the most of the time, grow. Even if you fall, you fail, get back up, do it again. But mostly, guys, I think one major thing is just get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone and do things that you don't even think is possible, because you never know what's going to happen. And also another thing is, after university, you don't know what's going to happen. Coronavirus came, a lot of jobs have been lost. So you don't know what you're going to learn from university that's going to help you survive and thrive in life after uni. So just get involved. And shout out to the team for involving me in this video. I'm really grateful. I really appreciate it. I hope my experiences have been able to, someone can learn from all these things I've said so far. So yeah, I really appreciate it, guys. Stay safe. I hope you guys have a good one. I really miss Surrey. It was an amazing experience. 4 years. I don't think it's hard to decide on 1 year that was my favorite, really. But yeah, guys, get involved. Don't let things hold you down. Just be the best you can be. Be the best you can be, really. That's another thing. Just be the best you can be. Alright guys, take care. Thanks a lot.
My one piece of advice for you all would be to get as much work experience as possible. So whether that's in the form of joining societies or student union or seeking internships, do as much as possible, because when you're now graduating, you need to be able to stand out from the crowd. What would differentiate you from all the thousands of candidates that have the same grade as you and course as you is what you did differently. So if you got the skills and experiences to show, number one, you take initiative. Number two, you are a seeker of knowledge and self-development. These are things that employers are looking for, because they want to hire people that they believe will grow and develop their company. So if you can show you've got that within yourself, then you have a better standing chance of making it.
So my advice to current students would be to set your goals smart. So set your goals at the start of the year, but also set daily objectives and form positive habits to help yourself achieve those in the long run. Secondly, I would say take care of your mental health. University can be a really isolating place, and there's a lot of pressure coming in from 100 different directions, whether that's time pressure with coursework, exam stress, etc. There's a lot of pressure. So look out for your friends and check up on your friends.
I'd say, definitely, if you have an idea, if you want to have a business, if you have a business idea, if you want to host something, if you want to write and be a writer, I'd say test and do it at university. It's the best place to test ideas or to do something that you've always been scared to do and you're not sure whether it would work out. I'd say do it at university, because that's where you sort of grow growing yourself, understand your own voice and know, okay, cool, does this idea work here? Do I want to do this in the future? And it's just a great way to build your portfolio whilst being at uni. So anything you want to do at university. Don't be scared and have a go.
If I could give one piece of advice, this is something that I would probably have told, I would tell myself, I'll tell my younger self, essentially, try new things. And don't isolate yourself, don't box yourself in to one specific community. Try and explore the entirety of the University of Surrey. Try new sports, try new societies, try everything. You actually have so much free time that you can literally try to do as many activities or try to pursue as many different hobbies as you possibly want. Albeit you still need to focus on your academics and stuff. But yeah, that's my advice to you.
Make the most of your university experience, especially your undergraduate studies. Connections are very important. Building relationships are fundamental, not just with people inside your university, so teachers, etc., but even externally. So clients, building relationships with companies, and I would also say as well, try not to stress or worry. 3 years of intense studying can seem like a lot, and it is by no means an easy thing to do, but you definitely have what it takes to get through those 3 years. Otherwise you wouldn't be at the uni, or you wouldn't be doing your course. So don't worry, don't stress, and all the best with everything.
One advice I would give students is to make best use of their time. Try and have as much fun as they can, which are debating from their student, because you see and everything will be great to do. So try and have as much fun as you can, and also try and achieve the best result that you can. When you get into the industry, into the world, you'll be really proud of your experiences. So it's a very good university, and that's one of the best experiences I can ever have.
I'd say don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zones. Make really good connections with people. Always hold yourself to the highest integrity, because in 10-15 years time you don't know where you're going to be, you don't know where someone else is going to be, and that's exactly why I'm saying create really good bonds, because end of the day your network really is your net worth. Somebody could literally hold the key to the next part of your career sometime in the future. You just don't know it. So it's always best to make really good connections with people, on your degree, off your degree, just in general.
Well, currently at the moment in this climate that we're in right now, I would say definitely, brush up on your skills. Brush up on a lot of skills, learn a language, learn a new language, do a course with an internship, definitely, to serve you to good stead when you finish your degree. Those are definitely the skills I can say and advice I would give to the current students. Connect with alumni, definitely, and get them to come and speak to you guys. Come and, get that first inroad into the job market, for sure. Yes, get your degree, work hard, get your degree. A lot of people do look at the universities that you do go to. Yeah, that's the advice I can give you. Good luck.
If I give one piece of advice to students, it will probably be to get outside your comfort zone and be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I think normality can be, a comfortable road to walk on, but as the quote goes, very few flowers grow on it. So I think it's important to kind of get yourself on a different road, which can kind of push you a bit more and, improve on your skills and, really make you stand out as a candidate once you graduate. I think there are so many opportunities to get yourself uncomfortable, get involved in societies that you're too scared to get involved in sports societies, get involved in extracurriculars. When you see that careers email come through of a 1-week internship, put your name out there and apply, even though you're scared. You might not think that it's sort of applicable to your degree choice, but you'd be surprised how many roles you can actually extract skills from that are applicable to your future career. So a piece of advice I'd say is, definitely get yourself out there and get yourself being uncomfortable, because the skills that you can derive from it are just, can be so beneficial towards you as a person, your personal growth as a person, as well as just your future career as well. It can be so integral to that. So that would be my piece of advice.
Make the most of your university experience, okay? Once you leave uni, okay, the real world comes, okay? And you've got responsibilities. Not that you don't have responsibilities at uni, but really take advantage of that university experience and actually use it as a time to grow. Because the value in uni, yes, it is in the education, but it's also in the transferable skills and the network that you build out of that. I can wholeheartedly say now I have a network of people all around the world simply because we went to university together. Utilize that. It's honestly, it's fantastic. Make the most of a university experience, and just get yourself involved in as many things as you can. Challenge yourself to grow, because that's really what's going to make you stand out in any chosen career path you choose to go into. And don't confine yourself to any boxes, man. Doesn't matter what you study at university, you can go on and be whatever it is you want to be. I mean, of course, you can't just go on and be a doctor. You have to, actually learn about medicine and things like that. But honestly, you are able to go on and do anything you want to do. So make the most of your experience, and just grow and challenge yourself to continue growing every single day. All right, that's peace and love. Like I said, my name is Musti. Big love to everybody, and I'll speak to you guys soon.
Well, as a teacher and also as a previous Surrey student, I would push you towards excellence. I mean, the whole essence of this video is black excellence, but even beyond colour, you have to have it as your goal. Have your mindset on being the best at what you do. And what does that look like in practice? Well, it looks like when you get an assignment, you're not going to wait until the last minute to start that assignment. In fact, every single lecture that you attend, every seminar you attend, you're thinking, how might this link to my assignment? How can I show that I've got a synoptic mind, if that makes sense? I always say to my students that excellence is the norm, and all that means is that you refuse to do the bare minimum. You refuse to choose to be mediocre, because that's actually beneath you. You've been called for greater. So my top advice would be to remember that you can do all things. Certainly you can do all things, but also to choose excellence or excellence. There's no other option but excellence, because it is the norm.